Good morning, everyone. So it's Wednesday and it's 10 a.m. I'm gonna let a few minutes pass by so you guys can hop on. Today, I am talking about why essential fatty acids, aka omega-3s, hey Gabby, and omega-6 are essential for our brain's health. I've been focusing a lot about the stress and the productivity and the brain and the functioning of the brain lately, and I just think it was a logical follow-up to talk about one specific nutrient that could help enhance your brain's performance. So for those who don't know me, I'm Claudine Rivière. I'm a nutrition coach and expert for 11 years now, and I hop on live on Instagram on Wednesdays for English lives, and I hop on my Facebook page for French lives on Fridays to talk about a topic that could be useful in your life in order to optimize your general health. And obviously I talk about nutrition a lot because I am a nutrition expert. This is very interactive. If you do have questions or comments about whatever I'm talking about, please share. I'm here to answer the questions, and I love it when it's super interactive. Like, I love connecting with you guys. So again, today we're talking about the importance of essential fatty acids on our brain and how we can optimize basically our performance and productivity by eating specific types of foods that can really contribute to our health performance. So first of all, when we think about the brain's health, we have very specific goals we want to achieve because without the brain performing optimally, it's really hard to be able to achieve whatever it is that we're trying to achieve with our life, right? And so one of the things you want to do when in terms of your brain's health is first off, stabilize your blood sugar level. So I'm not going to talk about diabetes or hyperglycemia, which is a high level of blood sugar in your system today. But just so you are aware of the different things that you can do in order to enhance your brain's health. So the first one is stabilize your blood sugar level. You never want to go high and low because that roller coaster can definitely be detrimental on your health. You want to make sure that you stabilize the blood sugar in order to not affect your body chemistry and your brain chemistry basically, and you don't damage your cells. The second one is to consume enough essential fatty acids, and I will explain why in a few minutes. And you want to vary also your vitamins and minerals. So if you stick to a specific way of eating or a specific diet, it's very hard to vary your different sources of vitamins and minerals. And so variety is something that you should always aim for with your nutrition, because you want to get as many different minerals and vitamins as possible in your nutrition in order to optimize your health. So no matter what you eat, you want to balance things out, and you want to vary your fruits, your veggies, your protein sources, your fat sources as much as possible to get a really nice variety. You also want to avoid, we call them anti-nutrients and potential allergens for you personally. So I will address that topic in another live, not today, but basically anti-nutrients are any type of molecules in food that could interact with the good ones and interact with the absorption of it, and so it could cause any nutritional deficiencies or toxicities also in your body. All right, so those are the 4 things you want to achieve when we're talking about your brain's health. Now, let's focus on the essential fatty acids, because this is really what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm super excited to present about that. So, essential fatty acids are basically the omega-3s and omega-6. We hear them a lot. There are the other fatty acids that we can find in nutrition, omega-9, and there is also the different polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. But these type of fats are not essential in that our body can make them. Whereas essential fatty acids, omega-3s and omega-6, cannot be produced within our body. So we need to go and get them in our nutrition, the different foods that we're going to eat on a daily basis, in order to have access to them and provide them to our body, basically. So this is why we call them the essential fatty acids. Our body cannot synthesize them, cannot make them, and so we have to eat them in order to get them. All right? Make sense? And then what are the different roles of the essential fatty acids? Well, first off, even within our mother's womb, we need to make sure we get enough of the essential fatty acids for our brain development when we're still a fetus. And this is going to be also very important for our vision. So there are tons of different functions and development in which the essential fatty acids are involved, and you want to make sure you have enough of them. And this is why we strongly suggest, if not kind of, make it a very, very important thing, that pregnant women have their complete multivitamin with essential fatty acids and folic acid to make sure that the baby is growing properly and is getting all the nutrients. Especially during pregnancy, the body is just needing so much more of everything. So a supplement is always something good because it will really come and support the mom's nutrition in order to provide all of this for the future baby. The brain, the human brain, is made up to 60% of fat. And this is something I've been talking about a lot when it comes to fat intake and its importance, is that we tend to forget that our brain, even though it fuels optimally on glucose, which is the byproduct once the carbohydrates are digested in our system, it is made of fat. So even though it runs on carbs, the brain is made of 60% of fat, which amazes me every time. I think it's just amazing. I just see this big chunk of mass and I'm just like, whoop, like it's a big fat mass. But it's really important that we understand that, so that we can also understand the importance of eating proper amount of fat on a daily basis, and also the right types of fat, obviously. And the fatty acids basically contribute to the brain's integrity, so the structure itself, and also the ability to perform. So the fatty acids are really working in two different ways, and that is why they're so important. When we decide to restrict our fat to a very, very strict minimum, it's very, very dangerous. Normally, we would suggest that fat contribute to about 30%, which is a third of your energy intake on a daily basis. 30%. And for several reasons, actually, fat is important in our body. I want to remain around the brain, but other functions would be the production of hormones, for example, and also the fat padding in our body that protect us with different impacts or from the environment and keeps us warm. So you really want to make sure that you get enough of fat, because you have so many functions, bodily functions, that are dependent on the fatty acids that you are ingesting every day. And so the different fatty acids, they do contribute to both the structure and the performance of your brain. Just remember that. And one of the examples I always talk about is back in the days when I was starting my career. I was working at the Montreal Children's Hospital back in Montreal. And it always struck me every time when we had a chronically malnourished kid that would come and do a brain scan to see if everything was in order and the malnutrition didn't affect too much their brain structure and integrity. And every time it would be a severe case of malnutrition, we would see the brain actually getting smaller, which is called atrophy. And the reason behind is that if energy-wise you don't get enough energy to provide for your body needs and the body structure on a daily basis, and on top of that you're also restricting the fats, because with eating disorder patients, most of the time the fat will be the biggest enemy, and they will just try to minimize it to the very, very strict minimum. Not to say that they completely would try to avoid it. And you would see the impact on their brain, just to show how, one, food contributes to make the brain structure, and two, your brain itself is a source of energy if you're always presenting an energy deficit in your day. Okay, so your body is a very smart machine. Wherever it can get energy, which brain is, right? If brain is fat, it's a source of energy for your body, it will go into your brain and eat itself up, basically, to provide energy to your body for its survival. And also, so it's just to keep in mind that everything that we eat contribute or not to our health. So you have two choices. Essential fatty acids are also needed for the synthesis, which is the construction of our brain neurotransmitters. Okay, that's a big word, neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are basically the little messenger that are corresponding or talking in our brain. And so without these little messengers, all the different signals that our brain wants to send to our body wouldn't be available. It wouldn't happen. And so these mini structures are dependent on essential fatty acids for their integrity as well, for their structure. So the essential fatty acids are involved in the structure and mechanism, once again, of these little messengers. So when you do have a deficiency in fat or in energy, basically what happens is that you lack of these little messengers and you cannot have all the proper messages sent between your brain and your body. So they're very, very, very important. Now, what are the different sources of essential fatty acids, right? Hey, Steph, how do you include more of the essential fatty acids in your diet? Because remember, they are essential, meaning that your body cannot build them, it cannot synthesize them, and so you have to eat the different sources of essential fatty acids to have them in your body so that your body can use it to fulfill the different functions needed. So the different sources of essential fatty acids, basically for the omega-3s, you have different fatty fish. So all the fish that have more of a pinkish meat will be higher in fat and will be higher in essential fatty acids. And nuts are very, very rich also in different types of essential fatty omega-3s. And omega-6, you can get them in different poultry, eggs, avocados, and hazelnuts, for example. So it's everything that's more fatty, mostly plant-based, will have the essential fatty acids. And the other thing you can do is obviously get a supplement, because we know that when the gray season comes, a lot of people are at risk of seasonal depression, and they would benefit from a supplementation in omega-3 and vitamin D. Because of the lack of sun, less vitamin D is being activated, and omega-3s, if you don't have a proper nutrition to support that, could help with mood swings, prevent depression as well, and so it could really help in general terms to your mental health, basically. So just to repeat and wrap up, omega-3s, you can find them in pink meat fish, like salmon, nuts, different type of nuts. You can have also the omega-6 in different types of white meats, eggs, avocados, and hazelnuts. So there you go. So those are the different sources. I don't know if it's useful, but if you were wondering how you can improve your brain's performance, whether it's by being more focused, also by improving your memory, those are all the little things that you can do simply by considering essential fatty acids in your diet. And so if you do have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye.